Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
You know, I pity you.
Pity me for what?
You're in for a very unhappy new year thanks to my Dallas Cowboys. Happy new Cowboys to everybody out there.
No, I'm in for a terrible new year because of the Lakers. You know that.
The Lakers? Oh, I'll accept that.
Oh, you accept that?
I enjoy that too.
Well, let's start with some Lake Show because the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook, hoping to ease the load off LeBron's shoulders. It's been a struggle thus far as the purple and gold sit at 16 and 18. And now the former MVP is trying to defend his lackluster performance to the media. Take a listen to what he said yesterday.
Honestly, I think I've been fine. I don't know what, the conversation's been heavily on how I'm playing and what I'm doing, but I think people are expecting me to have 25, 15, and 15, which that is not normal. You know, everybody has to understand, that's not like a normal thing that people do consistently. Everybody wants me to do certain things. Fizz, Frank, everybody want me to do this, but then they don't want me to do this. Honestly, I'm over the whole situation, what everybody else want me to do and what they think I should be doing.
Shannon, what did this interview session tell you about Russ?
That he doesn't get it. Skip, they're the 9th seed in the West. They were one of the favorite teams to come out of the West. They're the 9th seed, and Russ says, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. You see, he gets back to his original point. Everybody wants him to have 25, 15, and 15. Nobody thinks that. Nobody wants that. They want you to stop turning the ball over, especially in crucial situations.
Yep.
They want you to stop playing so out of control on a normal basis. That is a normal occurrence for you. As you said, 25, 15, and 15 is not normal. What is normal is you turning the ball over at a high rate. You playing out of control more times than not. You taking terrible shots more times than not. That's what the Laker Nation, that's what Laker faithful want you to do, Russ. Skip, he just doesn't get it. He gets, well, I'm fine. You're not fine. Nobody's asking you to put up these historic numbers. That's not what was needed. No one thought you could put up those numbers with AD and Bron. But they thought that you would take better care of the football because you weren't going the basketball football.
It's okay.
They thought you would take better care of the basketball because you were not going to be asked to be hero. Because you had LeBron, because you had AD. Given AD haven't lived up to his part of the deal either. Mm-hmm. But we'll discuss that another day in time. I think right now he's injured. We're going to let him get healthy. But when he comes back, we're going to jump on him with both feet. Mm-hmm. But back to Russ. Skip, it's not okay, Russ. Russ, all they're asking you to do, instead of having 4.5, 5, 6 turnovers a game, maybe do 3. Stop trying to be a hero and stop trying to make the dramatic play, and everything will be fine. But you need to play better than what you're playing. You were brought on to ease the load. You added more to LeBron's plate. They traded everybody that they traded because you were the guy that can create your shot and you could create for others. Come to find out, LeBron is having to do more this year than he's had to do since he was in L.A., Skip. And it was supposed to be the opposite. He's supposed to have a less load to carry, a less of a burden. Russ has put more on his plate. But, Skip, I knew. When I heard Russ says that, it's like I feel I'm always trying to fit in, do what's best for the betterment of the team, and I've always done that in my career, and I'll continue to do that. Whatever happens, happens. If we win a championship, cool. If we don't, I'm okay with that too. Life goes on.
That was not from this interview. That was
from a previous interview. But no, once I heard him say this, I was done. Because as a great player, which Russ is, if losing doesn't, even though, Skip, and I get it, basketball is a lot different than football because you play so many games. And so one game in football is the equivalent of 5 in basketball. Now it's about 4.5 because you got 17 games. But people get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Skip, it bothered me to lose. And even though I played a dependent position.
It still bothers you, the games that you lost.
Yes.
You still talk about that divisional playoff game.
Yes.
It eats at you.
Yes. And I think most great players in basketball,
absolutely.
I think it keeps LeBron awake at night. I think it bothers Kevin Durant. I think it bothers Steph Curry. I think it bothers some of the greats. And that's what made them so great. Russ, it doesn't bother him. If he said it, if he wins the championship, fine. If he doesn't, oh well, that's good too.
Yep.
Nah, bruh. But Skip, this is not about Russ, people asking you to do something historic. They just want you to play better, smarter basketball. Stop jumping up in the air to pass the ball with nowhere to go. Yep. Stop turning the ball over late in the ball game and slapping your hands and talking. That's what this is about, Skip. This is not about Russ averaging 30-point triple-double, but he seduced us. And he made us like triple-double. And people thought it was an indication of how well he actually played. Well, you do realize that he was shooting 40+, a little over 40% in those triple-double seasons. You do realize he was averaging about 5 turnovers a game in those triple-double seasons.
And he had led the league 4 times and been second 4 times in the last 8.
Russ, bruh, you got to stop thinking that everything is fine when you're the 9th seed in the West, because it's not. I'm not saying the sky's falling, but there's some meteors that's dropping to earth.
I would say you're right. So I hear everything you just said and then some. When I first saw that Russ had actually submitted to doing a solo interview, this is what, remember, the post games often he'll be side by side with LeBron or AD.
But you do remember that Christmas that he left. He didn't give no interview. He left. But everything's fine, though, Skip. He's fine, but he ain't do no interview. Okay, we'll continue.
So when I first saw this, I thought, is there any way he would show just a hint of contrition, just a touch of remorse, that he might actually own some of his horrendously bad losing basketball that he plays? And silly me, no. He went completely the other way.
Became more defiant.
More defiant, because he's always defiant to the media. I'm going to say it one more time because it's my favorite all-time line is for Russ. Honestly, I think I've been fine. You have? This is the height of dangerous delusion when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, because they continue to defend him. Even after the game the other night, LeBron defended him. I'm paraphrasing LeBron's quote, but it was somebody who plays that hard every possession. I'm fine with that. Well, I don't think he's fine with that at all, but I think he's swallowing it right now because there's still too much season left to play.
I agree. I believe publicly, no matter what's transpiring, we should support our teammates publicly. But behind the scenes, I'm seething because I got sold a bill of goods, and what I thought I was getting has not lived up to expectations.
Okay, I got it. So, Russ, you're fine with running away with the NBA turnover lead. You're at 156. James hasn't played as many games, but he's at 134. So you're 22 clear of James. And the irony of this is the one stat, the Iron Man stat of Russell Westbrook, is actually the worst case scenario for you and your Lakers. He's the only one who's played every game. He's 34 games out of 34. Way to go, Russ. That's been actually the problem, right?
Exactly.
That's the problem. You've played every game.
Right.
I thought he's going to miss one in the COVID list. I don't know how he tested right out of it, but he came right out of it and played that night, right? Okay. I'm going to take some responsibility for this. I think all of us in the media should take a little responsibility for this, because I've been guilty of coming in here a lot of mornings after some sensational triple-double, or that he's led he's done a whole season of triple-doubling for the 4th time in 5 years. All those times when he finished off the first season, won MVP with the triple-double for the year, I gushed. I idolized. I think we all idolized because we kept saying we've never seen anything like this before. We thought it was impossible for a 6'3" guard to average 10 rebounds a game. And because we idolized it, we put him on a pedestal in which he started to believe that playing bad basketball, losing basketball, was okay. It's flat out losing basketball. And just a quick side note, the more I watch him, the more I realize he's actually got bad hands. He's got, there's no steady, sturdy handle on Russell Westbrook. It reminds me of Coach Landry, the great Tom Landry, used to say of Tony Dorsett, on swing or screen passes, he had wild hands.
Right.
You know, because he'd be like this on trying to catch a little soft pass.
Fighting the football.
Right? Fighting the football. Well, Russ fights the basketball because when he powers down the lane, it's just like wild hands, right? There's no sturdy, steady handle to it, right? Okay, so we're facing up to that. We're starting to see him because, remember, all this losing basketball, these triple doubles were just fine in Oklahoma City, post Kevin Durant, obviously.
Right.
They were fine in Houston. They were great in Washington because it sold. It was great. It was box office because they needed box office. But I always said when Russ was with Kevin back in the glory days in Oklahoma City, I said, no, his priority is starring, not winning. And I was right about that. And that drove Kevin out of town. But what drove him out even more is that Sam Presti, who found the diamond in the rough at UCLA in Russell Westbrook, he actually valued Russ more than he did Kevin in Kevin's eyes. And Kevin was correct about that, where they protected Russ. They babied Russ. They allowed Russ to shame reporters who dared to ask him an objective, fair question about poor play or losing basketball plays, where he was allowed to all but spit back at them. And we're getting that now in L.A., but this is the first time he's been on this stage because nobody in Laker Nation cares about 25, 15, and 15 to your point. They don't. I mean, that's if it happened in victory, that would be fine.
Skip, you remember when LeBron had just come off going to the finals? You remember when they came out here and they put the murals up and every time somebody put it up, they defaced it?
They did.
We don't care about what you did somewhere else. What are you going to do for the Lakers? Nobody cares about those triple-doubles in Laker Nation because none of them have really gone to us winning a game here. That's what the Laker fans are thinking. And so you've got to do it here. But there was nobody expected Russ in OKC or Houston or Washington to contend for a title. So the level of expectations are different now. You have to adjust your play, your expectations to meet the expectations of this team. You just can't go out there willy-nilly. Okay, well, if I turn the ball over 7 times and we lose the ball game, I'm with Washington. Okay, all well and good. Nobody expects anything anyway. That's different now. You're at the Lakers. Do you understand what the Lakers represent? What that brand means? That's not triple-double. Nobody cares.
Well, he should because he's the only one who grew up out here idolizing the Los Angeles Lakers. So he should
know what Showtime, what Shaq and Kobe Lakers represent. They don't represent losing.
No. Yet he is totally content with 16 and 18 because he's just thinking, hey, I can't do 25, 15, and 15. It's not normal. He's saying, well, no, it's not normal. So he's at 28 and 8. And I promise you, he is locking in on, I got to get those 8 and 8. I got to get to 10 and 10. And then I'll have a great year. If I can go 20, 10, and 10 for the Los Angeles Lakers as a starting point guard, I'm in basketball heaven. That's all he cares about.
But what did that
they could miss the playoffs and he would not care.
Exactly. That's my point, Skip. Okay, yeah, you had a great individual season, but what did that do for the Lakers?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I've been fine. So let me look at these stats quickly. Not only is he leading the league by far in turnovers, but how about this? From the three-point line, he's shooting 30.4%. That ranks 144th of 152 three-point shooters in this league. From the free throw line, this is your point guard. He's shooting 65.6%. It's his career low. That ranks 94th of 96 players. You can't overcome that, plus the turnovers.
No, absolutely not.
And then the great irony of Saturday night, it felt like you hit bottom on Saturday night because you make the 31-8 run to come from 23 down to tie, mostly with Russ watching on the bench, right?
Yes.
But you hit bottom because it was miraculous that you got back to 115 all, given the fact that he missed 11 shots in the restricted area. 11 shots, which tied his own record in the last 10 years for most shots missed in the restricted area. So not only was he not making them from distance, he couldn't even make bunnies. He couldn't make point blank.
No.
Are you kidding me? So just quickly, for the edification of those who might have been celebrating Christmas or whatever and couldn't watch the game, could we see Russ went 4 of 20. So we got 16 misses. 11 of them are point blank. Can we see those, please? Here's the first one up. And, well, he just got stuffed on that one. That was James Harden who blocked that shot. Way to go, James. That's just wild. No. You knew that one. When he goes up from 3, I'm like, no. Little mid-range, almost airballed it. I think it ticked the far side. Little too strong. Wild drive.
Look at this one.
Come on now, Russ. That got blocked from behind. He is 6'3". There's no way he's going to make that shot. He's just not going to make that.
Look at that.
That's an air ball. That's just
how you shoot the ball over the square?
I don't know. Short, as usual.
But he's fine. He's playing fine.
Well, that was, yeah. Here's the last one where the rim blocks his dunk. That was to cut it back to 1 at the end after the.
But you know what? You know why I did that, Skip? Because he was going to dunk the ball and do all this and do all that.
Yeah, rock the baby.
Yeah, he was going to do it all except put the ball in. He did everything except put the ball in the basket.
Yesterday, LeBron's driving. I'm saying just go ahead and do something because it's your game to win because he'd already scored 13 in the fourth.
Right.
And they double him, and he goes kind of up and under, and he decides, well, I got to kick the ball.
He was trying to kick the ball to Melo, and James Harden got a hand on it.
And guess who it went to? Fatefully, it goes to exactly the wrong guy.
Doesn't it always happen like that?
Who just puts his head down and goes bat out of hell to the rim and gets blocked by the rim, and that's ball game because then James gets fouled, and he goes and makes the 2 free.
But you remember 3 weeks ago, Skip, somebody compared him to Allen Iverson. And he felt it was disrespectful. I'm not Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson isn't me. Bruh, all we're saying, Skip, can you not turn the ball over 7 times a game? Can you not shoot bad shots? Can you play a smidge? I'm not asking you to be Alvin Robertson and play lights out defense. I'm not asking you to be Patrick Beverly. Can you play a smidge of defense? That's it. I don't think that's asking too much for a guy that's making $44 million.
He is capable. On occasion, he'll play the passing lane and get his hand up. He is very capable.
But, Skip, I mean, those shots, come on, Skip. I mean, you see the man, he's just throwing shots up with his left hand. I understand that he's a naturally lefty. He shoots the basketball righty, but he's a lefty. But, Skip, come on, bruh. I mean, you look at those shots, he's just throwing the ball up off the rim, hoping to get a foul. He's turning around looking at the rim. No, they're not going to bail you out with bad shots. They're not going to do it. Not you.
He's no longer playing in Washington or even in Houston.
Right.
Because those teams wouldn't be in the marquee game on Christmas, right?
They're not going to be on television every single night. They're not going to have 40-plus games on the NBA TV, TNT, ABC, or ESPN. Washington Wizards might have had 1 game. Houston might have had 3 or 4 games, but that was because of James Harden. OKC wasn't going to be on TV at all.
Yep.
So now, every other game, you're going to be on, you got LeBron, you got Anthony Davis, and you got the Laker brand. Right. So you're going to be in the public's eye.
Was that not the marquee game of the day and evening? Yes, it was. And obviously, there's no KD, and there's no Kyrie, and for that matter, there's no Joe Harris, there's no LaMarcus Aldridge for the Nets. So obviously, you should have the advantage.
You can't get outplayed by Patty Mills.
No, you can't.
And that's what happened. LeBron, James Harden did James Harden things. LeBron matched him. Okay, so now we go to the second best players. Okay, what did your second best player do versus their second best player?
I know what he did in the fourth quarter. He made all 3 of his shots, and they were all from 3, Patty Mills.
Patty Mills outplayed him. Simple as that.
Winning basketball player. That's all he is. He's 5'11" of winning player, winning intangibles.
But guess what, Skip?
Shooter.
He got a triple-double on Christmas.
He got a triple-double.
The sun didn't come up but for a little bit because it started raining again. But he was good.
Yep. He was very good with what happened. But I believe that the shame that you felt and that Laker Nation felt was intensified by the fact that it was supposed to be the marquee game on Christmas, and you fell 23 down and made a stunning comeback. A comeback, seriously, a comeback for the ages. It's hard to go on a 31-8 run. And you did that, and you got it back to 115 all on a nice little dish from LeBron to Malik Monk, who went up and under. And I'm thinking, you got this. You got him on the run. And James was coming all apart. He was 0 for 5 at that point. You had him on the ropes and on the run. And then that happens.
Skip, let me ask you a question. Russ got 180, 190 triple-doubles. How many of those 185, 190 triple-doubles?
190, isn't it? 190.
In which they won. Let's just say they won 100 of those.
Yep.
Do you think Russ left without doing an interview after they won the triple-double? If everything's fine. Remember, Skip, you never accept anything in a win, you wouldn't in a loss. So all of a sudden, he fine. Why wouldn't you talk to the media after the game? If you fine, if everything's okay, why wouldn't you talk like you normally do? Because you know you played like some boo-boo. And you've been playing like that since you've arrived here.
Yep.
You have not met expectations. You can brush it off.
Yep.
And I agree. His teammates should support him 1,000%.
Yep.
But deep down inside, they know he's not playing. He's not living up to his end.
They have to.
He knows
I agree.
it. Everybody knows
Yep.
it. Jeannie Buss knows it.
Yep.
Rob Pelinka knows it. LeBron James knows it. Everybody knows Russ has not lived up to his end of the deal.
But what did I tell you right before the year started? What was the worst thing that could have happened to LeBron James is that Gotham Chopra did a documentary on Russell Westbrook that premiered just before your opening night this season for the Lakers. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And when I watch Sports Spectrum LA, the local Laker station, and watch the games, who has all the commercials? Russ does. You see him, right? He's doing one for a new bank and a couple others. I don't see LeBron doing commercials on that. Maybe it's beneath him. It's just the local network, but it's all Russ all the time because he is viewed as a superstar, right?
Yes.
He's idolized as a superstar. He knows full well he is a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's all he cares about.
I don't care what anybody says. I tell you what, you take the guy that plays hard. Give me the guy that plays smart, and I'll beat you. I'll beat you every single time because you know why? Because in the process of him playing hard, he's going to make mistakes that he shouldn't make. He's not going to understand the situation. Tom Brady, the thing that I will say about Tom is that he understands situation. This is not a game that's going to be a shootout.
No.
A turnover might cost us the game. So you know what? I'm not going to put the ball in harm's way.
No.
Russ does not understand that. He's like, I got to play this way. This is the only way I can play. Or he played, man, you see Russ, he had 20 rebounds. Well, what about those 8 careless turnovers that he had that cost you the game?
Who was your favorite player growing up? Larry Joe Bird. How did he play? He didn't have the greatest athleticism, no leaping ability, 6'9". He just knew how to play.
He beat you with his mind.
Just beat you with his mind.
Yep.
And his will. Yep. I agree.
That's it, Russ. We done.
Got to get rid of him.
Russ has some serious work to do. The Dolphins won their 7th straight game last night after dropping 7 in a row before that. And now they sit in the final AFC wildcard spot and control their destiny moving forward. Tua was 19 for 26 with 198 yards, a touchdown, and an interception as Miami cruised to a 20-3 win. Shannon, you were big on Tua coming out of Alabama. So from what you're seeing now, is he a franchise quarterback?
Skip, he's still improving as a young quarterback. I still believe he can be a franchise quarterback. He has good accuracy. He leads the NFL in completion percentage. He's 8th in QBR. He's just still learning, Skip. And plus, he's got to get over he's not a big guy. And so you always have the fear of injury. We know the injuries. They've been well documented since when he was in college. He's gotten nicked even in the NFL. He fractured ribs, fractured a finger on his throwing hand. But Skip, you know, it's hard to argue 7 straight wins, and Tua won 6 of those. He doesn't. I think a lot of this has to do with them not allowing him to push the ball down the field. Everything is short. Everything is the Jalen Waddle. I think they had expectations of the Parker coming in, help contributing. I like Gesicki, the tight end. He can make tough contested catches. He's great run after the catch. But Fuller, they haven't got from the receiving core outside of Waddle and Gesicki what they had hoped. Skip, they don't have a running game to speak of. I mean, they got guys, Phillip Lindsay, they got Duke Johnson, guys that were just on the street.
Yep.
You're not winning championship football with guys that are on the street, and you get them, find them in the middle of the season. I mean, Duke Johnson had his first 100-yard game, played well. Phillip Lindsay, when he was at the Broncos, went to the Pro Bowl one year. But they need to get a running game. And I think if they can get a running game and shore up their offensive line, I believe that is the direction that they're going to go in the draft. I don't believe they're looking. Now, people are like, well, they were looking for Deshaun Watson. 25 other teams would take Deshaun Watson because everybody doesn't have a Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert or Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers. So teams that don't, they would be looking to get into the Derby. especially if Deshaun Watson didn't have the off-the-field issue. But, Skip, when I look at Tua, he's 11th in the NFL in both completion percentage and yards per attempt when throwing the football down the field 10 yards or more. Do you know that that percentage is better than, and yards per attempt is better than, one Dak Prescott, one Jalen Hurts, one Baker Mayfield? That's where he is. So for me, Skip, I think he can. They're going to win right now. They're winning with defense. They're going to pressure, and they're saying, Tua, don't turn the ball over. But I think they would be better served at some point in time. He has to do a better job, Skip. He threw a horrible interception last night. They run the clear route, run the guy through on the post. They have Jalen Waddle on the over route. Jalen Waddle is his number one receiver. He's wide open, and he throws it into double coverage. Why? There's no need. Skip, look at Jalen Waddle right here. Jalen Waddle might come out the backside with his speed. He might come out the backside and take it to the house. Look at this. He overshoots and Marshawn Lattimore is overlapping, gets a pick. But he's a young quarterback still trying to figure it out, Skip. But I think he can play at this level. I think he can play at a very, very high level. I was surrounded with another a good running back, a wide receiver, short my offensive line, Skip. They can cause people. They gonna if they make the playoff, they're gonna be a tough out. Because their defense is legit.
Okay, I'm going to preface my stance on this by saying I think this is a great kid. Seriously. I'm not sure he's a great leader because he's not a fire and brimstone guy.
No. That's not him.
But I think they love him. I think it's not that they love playing for him. They love playing with him just because he's such a good human being. And I think everybody in that locker room roots for him to do well. I also think everybody in that locker room knows he's got limitations.
Of course.
And in the end, I do not believe he's a franchise quarterback, and I didn't think he was when he was at Alabama. So, 70% completion, number one in the NFL. Yards per game, he's averaging 213 passing yards per game. That ranks 30th in the NFL. So first in percentage, but 30th. He is the dunkingest quarterback I've ever observed.
He Dak Prescott early in his career. You know it, dinking Dak.
Maybe early Dak, but not now Dak. We're about to talk about Dak is back. But the point is, he's 15 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He's lost 6 fumbles this year, and it's been a magical mystery ride for him because he's lost the fumble. I mean, he's fumbled 6 times, but they've lost none, 0. And he got stripped last night by Davenport, and the ball's loose, and they fall on him. They're really good at falling on his fumbles. So that's been part of this magic carpet ride.
because the linemen they're not blocking anybody, so they see him get hit and see where the ball's coming out at. Skip.
Okay. So in QBR, he's climbed all the way up to 9th. That's pretty good. Top 10 QBR. Pro Football Focus ranks him on just sheer grading 19th. That's probably about right. I just don't know how far you can go with him because it's going to have to be all about the defense and all about extremely arch conservative throws. And in the end, that Jalen Waddle, he is something now.
Is.
That is some lightning quickness. In fact, to my eye test last night, he's the quickest receiver in the NFL. It is electric quickness on that little 1-yard run that he had. He's just gone. And they say he was hurt, remember, last year at Alabama. He didn't even time, but he's timed some with Ruggs.
Well, that's what Devontae was telling me. He says he could actually outrun Ruggs. Ruggs ran 4.27, and he believes Waddle.
I think he's 4.2-ish. He's in there somewhere. Okay? Yeah, he did on your podcast. Okay, I got it. And I believe that. This is something. And so it helps him to have, that's his security blanket. He threw him 12 balls last night, and he caught 10 for 92. So when in doubt, to your point on your interception, he just what's he wear? 17. Just like the guy in Green Bay, right? And when in doubt, he's just looking for 17. You think he might look for Gesicki? No, he looks for 17 because he knows 17 is going to separate. So what happened on the interception? He has to load up to throw it 20+. That was the first 20+ yard throw he had tried last night. He has to kind of load up like he's going to throw a javelin and heave it down there, and he just loaded up too much and overthrew. But
he had made his mind up he's throwing the go ball.
He was.
Because if he'd read his defense, Skip, nothing tells him that he shouldn't throw this ball to Waddle on the over route.
Yep, I got it. Okay, so then he comes back right away in that next series, and he throws one to Mac Hollins, who's kind of their designated deep ball guy.
Is he a tight end? He's a wide receiver? I don't know.
Well, he's a special teams player.
Yes.
And here he loads up and just lets it go as hard as he can throw it and hits him right in the hands.
Yes.
It was beautiful. Okay, I like it. And he took a little shot to boot. But remember what Matt Collins did for Fitzmagic last year at Raiders? Remember that throw? Because I thought they were done. There's like 15 seconds left, and they're backed up, and he heaves one up to Matt Collins and gets roughed. And all of a sudden they got him.
Right here.
Here it is. Here's Fitzmagic. He gets knocked down and throws it up to Matt Collins. So he's their designated magic man.
You know what, Skip? You know what's working against Tua? He happens to be in the same draft class with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is starting in the AFC for the Pro Bowl. Joe Burrow just threw for 525 yards, which is the fourth most in NFL history.
Yep.
So that's what Tua's up against, Skip. You know what happens with, it's kind of like the other guys in Jordan's class. Charles Barkley had a great career. Akeem Olajuwon had a great career. But who else was in that draft class taking third overall, Skip? Michael Jordan. So that's what Tua's up against. He's in the class with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, and we see what those guys are doing. I don't believe he can be those guys. I don't, Skip. Justin Herbert is, I'm not so sure he borderline top 5. Joe Burrow, if he can stay, he got through for over 900 yards in 2 games against the Ravens. And I don't care what, everybody was hurt. Well, they just played Aaron Rodgers the week before, and he didn't throw for 525.
He did not.
So if it was easy, there'd be a lot more people throwing for 525 against that Ravens defense.
Okay. So let's look harder at these 7 games they won. And obviously, they're the first team ever to lose 7 and then win 7. Remember, Tua did win the opener at New England. I'm going to give him that. That's decent. He had a QBR of 48, just under average.
Right.
But he threw for 202, a touchdown, 1 interception, ran for a touchdown. So I'm going to give him that one. That's a good start. But here's the 7 games. Jacoby Brissett started the first one against Houston and Tyrod. So, okay. And then Jacoby Brissett started against Baltimore. And they won that game 22-10, and that's the one impressive win. And Tua had to come in the third quarter when he hurt his knee and finish up. And Tua played well down the stretch. He was 8-13 for 158. So he put up good numbers, had a low QBR, but he put up decent numbers, and they won 22-10. That's their only sort of signature win in this streak, because then they won at the Jets against Flacco, and then they beat Carolina when Cam got yanked and benched, and then they beat the Giants against Glennon. Then they beat the Jets again. It was with Zach Wilson. And then it was New Orleans last night with a young quarterback who, in his first start, he suffered the worst debut I've ever seen in all my years. And I watched Ian Book quite a bit at Notre Dame. I thought he was decent. I thought he was pretty good. But you want to talk about overmatched? On his first third down, the ball gets tipped and it gets pick 6. And
you knew it was going to be a long match.
He just goes in the tank.
0 for 10 because now, Skip, it's a situation where he gets pressure. He's not keeping it. He ducks his head.
Yeah.
And
didn't they go 0 for 12?
They went for 0 for 12 on third down. So I can imagine what his QBR is going to be.
Well, it was 2. He got a 2. Tua had a 42 last night, which is still below average.
You get 2, Skip? If you get sacked 8 times, you throw 2 picks, how you even have a positive QBR?
Well, because he actually completed some balls. He threw for 135, which given is sacked 8 times, that's okay. He had a couple of nice completions.
You keep saying he had 135 yards.
Well,
that's a lot of yards.
Given how he's just running for his life the whole night, just like deer in headlights, right?
But that's the thing, Skip. I just think the thing is with Tua, you're going to have to open up the playbook. It's kind of like with Mac Jones. At some point in time, Skip, you're going to have to take the training wheels off him and allow him to push the ball down the field. Because you see at Buffalo, you see the way the Dolphins, they like the way they Ian Book, they challenge him. You see the way the Saints were challenging Tua. They're like, you're not finna throw the ball down the field, man. We finna get right here. We ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You got to push the ball down the field, Skip. You got to back them up. Because if you don't, you make the quarterback's job extremely, extremely difficult when they know you're not throwing the ball down the field. They're just going to play man coverage and be in his hip.
So here's my bottom line. I'll take Baker Mayfield over Tua any day or night.
No, I won't.
I would. Yep.
No.
Yep.
You know Baker's not no good, Skip.
Oh, not no good? Are you kidding me?
No, he's not no good.
Really? Did you watch his rookie year? Did you see what happened last year?
Man, that man in year 4. You're talking about some rookie year.
We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes, but I'll take him just on his fire. He's got fire.
See, there you go.
Yep.
Well, I guess you like Russell. Or you like Westbrook because he got fire. He got fire. Your guy got fire and turns it over. The other guy got fire and turns it over. So you like fire, huh? Oh, okay. Get burned every time.
My guy throws a lot of touchdowns.
That guy throwing a lot of touchdowns. He got a lot of picks. He got a lot of interceptions.
We'll talk about that in just a few
Sure will talk about
minutes, but I'd rather talk about my Cowboys.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about another quarterback, because with the division locked up, Skip's Cowboys are sitting pretty at 11-4 as the current number 2 seed in the NFC. And Dak Prescott has his best game since his calf injury this past weekend, throwing for 4 touchdowns. Dallas has a big matchup with Arizona this weekend on Fox, followed by Week 18 game against Philadelphia, both of whom could be possible opponents in the postseason. So, Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust Dak going forward into the playoffs?
I'm going to give him his jersey number. I'll give him a 4. I just saw 7 games in which he struggled. So now he plays 1 good game in the last 2 months. He back. Remember what you said? I remember he played Atlanta. You told me he back. And then he goes out there and put 9 points up on Kansas City. He wasn't back. And then he come home on Thanksgiving and look a mess, right? Okay. So with that being said, Skip, no. I'm just a firm believer that in year 6, a guy shouldn't have a 2-month slump. But Dak's career has been up and down. People fail to acknowledge it or realize it. I mean, maybe he's on your favorite team. Maybe you like the Cowboys. But if you look at Dak's career, it's been up and down. He plays 3 or 4 great games, then 3 or 4 not so good. He'll level off, play okay, play not so good. So from what I've seen, you want me to trust that? Not only do I not trust him, I don't trust your team. You are the Cowboys. Now, I know at some point in time, now it has gone better than I anticipated, but I know you'll do Cowboy things at a certain point in time during the season. It's not over just yet. Maybe it didn't happen as much as I thought it would in the regular season, but I haven't lost hope. I haven't lost this. I'm not in despair because I know the playoffs are coming. And that's going to hurt even more because you've been banging the table, knocking my papers off and just screaming up and down. Yep. So it's going to hurt you even more that you realistically think you got a chance to be in SoFi. And when you guys lose, the heavens will open up. He'll pour me out a blessings, and I'll be more than willing to accept it.
Okay, right here, right now, I'm going to put my Diet Mountain Dew where my mouth is.
Okay, what you want?
Where my guts are.
Okay.
I will bet you 5 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that Dallas wins its first playoff game. I don't care who the opponent is, they will win their first playoff game. Why not?
That might be the Eagles.
I don't care.
I know, I do.
Is it called a playoff game?
No, it's called the Eagles.
Is it Cowboys doing cowboy things? That's what you just predicted.
You just told me you have very little. You've been telling me all you love Jalen Hurts, but you don't have any respect for the Eagles. So with that being said, you want me to give you 5 cases on y'all might play the Eagles.
I told you the Eagles would be the best team other than Dallas in that division. I told you from day one.
That ain't saying nothing.
It's saying a lot.
No, it's not.
Well, I fear Jalen Hurts, and I would fear the Eagles, and you should take my bet here, right now.
Nope.
It's not a sucker bet.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what y'all do with the Cardinals. Don't y'all play the Cardinals on Sunday? Okay. Let me see what y'all do with them.
Okay, we'll see.
That might be your first round game.
Could be. We're already done. We just won the East. We got a home playoff game, whether you like it or not. And you know
Kyler Murray don't lose in Texas.
Okay.
Does he lose in Texas?
Well,
Didn't lose in okay, then.
Didn't lose a single high school game.
Ain't gonna
3 years.
Now. Yep.
And we owe him hugely for what happened on Monday Night Football last year. And Mike McCarthy tried to make that the motivational speech of before a preseason game. Maybe this time it'll work as long as Dak gives the speech, right?
Nope.
Okay, back to the question. Scale of 1 to 10. How much do I trust my quarterback, and this is the phraseology, going forward into the playoffs? Yeah. I'm easy at a 9, and I probably should be at a 10, but I'm going to be objective about my Cowboys because
you're really objective with a 9.
I'm a harshly objective Cowboy fan. I'm going up to a 9 because what have I seen from my quarterback? I trust him way more in a playoff game than I do in some regular season game at home against Denver or the Las Vegas Raiders, even on Thanksgiving. I trust him more in playoff games. He has come up big and clutch in all 3 of his playoff games. So this isn't just some upstart team that suddenly got hot and came out of nowhere, and the quarterback's never experienced this. He's played 3 playoff games. So he knows he knows what it feels like. He knows how to rise and shine when the moment calls for it. What did he do as a raw rookie in his first playoff game against Aaron bleeping Rodgers?
He lost.
His defense did not show up.
Oh, that's his defense.
They had the number 1 seed, and they had 2 weeks off, and they weren't ready to play, and Aaron and company were. And all of a sudden, it's 21-3, and Dak said, enough. This is our house.
He should have said that because he allowed him to get 21-3. Remember? Just like he allowed him to get 30-0.
And guess what the score was? You look up, and all of a sudden, it's 31-all, thanks to Dakota Rain Prescott, R-E-I-G-N Rain Prescott. He goes 24 of 38 for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns with a QBR of 74, scale 0 to 100. That is high, high, high. He also ran for a touchdown, and it took 2 intergalactic, bizarre hand of God free throws. They were hand of God free throws. The hand of God reached down in Jerry World and pushed the balls. He pushed the first one completely wide right, and it somehow found its way over the crossbar, Mason crossbar. And the next one, the game winner, he duck hooked it, and we're indoors. And suddenly the winds blew sideways. I don't know what happened. And when you saw it, it starts off left and it suddenly fades back to the right. Never seen it before. That's what it took for Aaron bleeping Rodgers to escape with that W, because Dakota Rain Prescott played well enough to win that game.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
he played late well enough to win. What at the beginning?
A rookie starter after what you saw from Ian Book last night?
Oh, that's not Ian Book ain't have what Dak had his rookie year. Stop.
All right, so then let's go to the playoff win. It was against Russell Wilson. Seattle comes to Jerry World, and Dak goes 22 of 33 for 226, a touchdown, did have 1 pick, but another QBR of 73, and also had a rushing TD, thanks to 3rd and 14 at the 17 late in the game. Can we see this again?
No, we don't need to see it.
Just to remind everybody how great my quarterback can be with his legs. Can we see this play?
Get it.
It's a quarterback. Get it. Quarterback.
Get it.
Nobody can tackle him. And he whirligigs all the way to the goal line, almost scored, but did score on a sneak to cap it off. And that made the score 24-14 Dallas, and effectively the game was over, even though Russ came right back with a big clutch touchdown, and it wound up 24-22, Dak over Russell Wilson. That's pretty great, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and then what happened the next week?
Okay, they come to the Rams. They come out here to the Coliseum, and Dak Prescott played well enough to win the football game. All he did was go 20 of 32 for 266 and a touchdown, no interceptions, another rushing touchdown with a QBR of 84 in that game. Outplayed Jared Goff.
He didn't.
He did outplay him, but in the end had a better QBR than Jared Goff. But in the end, Jared Goff made 1 play on a 3rd and long. He escaped with it. He used his legs, and they iced the clock. If Dak had gotten the ball back, I believe you would have lost. It wound up 30-22.
Why you need to get the ball back? You had the ball. You make it seem like the Rams had the ball the whole game and never gave it to you. You had it. What did you do with it when you had it?
Well, we did a lot.
No, you didn't.
We did a lot. Okay, so let's look at Dak's 3-game playoff QBR, shall we?
Yeah.
The average is 77. So 3 playoff games with a QBR of 77. I want you to put this into perspective. If Dak Prescott right here, right now, had a 77 QBR during this regular season, he would be running away with the QBR lead, because the leader right now, the leader in the clubhouse, is Aaron bleeping Rodgers at 68. He leads the NFL in QBR at 68. Dak's QBR for the playoffs is 77, and you're saying you don't trust him? Yeah. You're kidding.
First of all, that's a small sample size. That's only 3 games.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable
but that just goes to show you. Think about what you said. If he had that QBR in the regular season, he doesn't. What is his QBR during the regular season? He's not first. It's not in the 70s.
But the Cowboys won the division, and they get a home playoff game. And I don't even care if Dak plays against Arizona or plays at Philly. Let Cooper Rush play. I don't even care.
Oh, you try to get the number 1 seed. You better hope you get the number 1 seed.
Well, it's a long shot,
but hey, Green Bay got Minnesota. Minnesota and Kirk Cousins, I don't know what it is about Aaron Rodgers on the other side, but he plays his best football against Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe.
So you guys got an outside chance at getting the number 1 seed. So you're going to play these games out.
Okay, fine. Well, maybe
I gave the man the jersey number.
Yeah. 4?
Yeah.
Well, that means you do not trust him.
I said, Skip, that's a 4. I trust him so
4 out of 10?
Yeah.
Well, that means most of the time he is untrustable.
Okay.
A majority of the time, says Shannon Sharpe, you cannot trust Dak Prescott in a playoff game, right?
There it is.
Okay.
You got me.
Well, I just
you
showed
waterboarded me and made me tell you that I don't trust him.
Okay, but I just displayed 3 playoff games in which he is nothing but trustable.
And Skip.
Thank you. Game over.
I can see Skip. If he had a 77 QBR and he was 3-0 in the playoffs, you'd have me dead to right. But if you don't mind me asking, in those 3 playoff games, what's his one loss record?
1-2.
Is that good?
Yep.
I didn't think so.
Thanks to Mason Crosby and Jared Goff getting loose with his legs.
Let that sink in. And you have little to no respect for Jared Goff. And he's done a number on you on several occasions. Remember?
Did I just demonstrate 3 performances that were good enough to win all 3 games and won one of them?
You remember what Jared Goff did to y'all in that second half in Jared World, right? Did he outplay it?
Those were the days we had no defense.
Now you ain't got no defense. Now you ain't got no defense.
Now we got the best pass rush in football. Now we got the best takeaway defense in football. Now we got a legitimate, bona fide Super Bowl defense. And what did you say yesterday? The offense now just complements the defense.
You got a Super Bowl defense, but you got a Bud Bowl offense.
Okay. Well, but I've seen my quarterback play great, and not just good, play great.
What excuse will you use when you
I don't
and
need
you will?
Excuses. I don't
and
need
you
any.
Yeah, you're gonna come up with one. You're gonna talk about the Sharpe. You're gonna talk about Mike McCarthy.
Nope.
You're gonna blame Jared was talking. You gonna blame somebody.
I'm not. I don't need excuses. Okay. I told you from the start, this team is different.
No,
this
they're not.
This team has a different body language to it because this team knows it is special.
Oh, playing
special.
Tyler Heineke will give you that. Mike Glennon will give you that kind of body language. They sure will.
Taylor Heineke, coming into the first game at Washington, had won 4 in a row, had outplayed the GOAT, had beaten Cam, had beaten Russ on Monday Night Football. He was on fire.
Taysom Hill beat the GOAT.
Yeah, and guess what?
Taysom Hill did a number on him.
No, Micah Parsons did a number on Taylor Heineke early in that first game at Washington, knocked him down and out of the game, and he never recovered from that. It took one hit from a guy who should be right in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, not just Rookie Player of the Year. Right?
He definitely.
That's the kind of hit that resonates all through the next 2 games. That one hit set the table for what was about to happen, and the table turned over on Taylor Heineke the other night at Jerry World, and it was 56-14.
You talking real big and bold.
I am, because I can back it up.
You got me on the run somewhat.
Yes, I do.
I'm scurried. I'm looking for shelter.
You are.
But once I find this safe place, I'll be back out.
Really?
Yep.
Your theme song should be one of my all-time favorite songs by the Rolling Stones, and it's called Gimme Shelter. You need it.
Nope.
You need shelter right now.
You're right, Skip. You got
Give this poor man some shelter.
Skip.
I pity him.
You got me right now. I mean, I got nothing. You gave me 3 teams in the NFC East.
I did.
And none of them came through for me.
No.
You got me on the run. But I'm going to run as long as I can.
Yep.
And sooner or later,
yeah,
I'm going to find a nice resting place.
We're going to run all the way to SoFi.
No, you're not. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Now look at you. I thought you were scared to jinx them. You didn't want to jinx them. Now you talking big and bold now.
They're unjinxable.
Oh, okay. Okay, I want you to have. Ooh, come on.
No mercy.
The MVP race has reached fever pitch with 2 weeks remaining. Aaron Rodgers had his 6th game of 3+ touchdowns with no interceptions this weekend. And according to Fox Bet Sportsbook, he's the favorite to win the award at -175. Meanwhile, despite his bounce-back win on Sunday, Tom Brady is fading at +650. Shannon, has Aaron Rodgers assumed control of the MVP race?
He has. And Skip, I told you 6 games into the season, early in the season, I said, don't count Rodgers out. Knowing his history of taking care of the football and being able to get hot, and that's what he's done right on cue, Skip. His last 13 games, he's 33 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Let that sink in for just a second. 33 touchdowns, 2 interceptions over a 13-game stretch. Rodgers, number 1 in QBR. His completion percentage, yards per attempt is better than Tom Brady. His team record is better than Tom Brady's team. He has 10 fewer turnovers. Brady is 37-11. Aaron Rodgers is 33-4. Brady has 157 more pass attempts, but he's 14th in completion percentage, 14th in yards per attempt. I don't know what you want me to do with this, Skip. Brady has 11 interceptions this season. Aaron Rodgers has 11 interceptions in 40 games. 11 interceptions in 40 games. In 2.5 years, the man has thrown fewer interceptions than Tom Brady has thrown this season. And I told you what was going to happen because he throws so many touchdowns and he doesn't turn the ball over at all. The man still, all those touchdowns, he still hasn't had 100 interceptions in his career. Skip, let that sink in. The man has 445, 446 touchdown passes with fewer than 100 interceptions.
But we're talking about this year, correct? Or is this a lifetime achievement?
I'm glad you said that. So his QBR is better than Brady's. His completion percentage is better than Brady. His yards per attempt is better than Brady. His team record is better than Brady's.
Okay.
So what are we basing? So where does you want to go?
Is it my turn?
Where does you want to go?
I'd like to go a lot of places.
Take off then.
Thank you. So Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer, is attempting to sell us a runaway MVP. That's
no, I didn't. No, I said he had the lead. I said he has the lead.
I thought you were saying runaway.
No. He has 2 games left. It's going to be very difficult for you to catch it.
Okay. Shannon Sharpe is trying to sell me an MVP who averages 263 passing yards a game. That ranks 11th in the NFL. Really?
Yeah.
11th in the NFL? Brady is 305 a game. That's number 1 in the NFL.
He throws it more. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
But, Aaron's per game, 263. It's just behind Kirk Cousins and just ahead of Jimmy G. Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of embarrassing for an MVP to have that kind of.
I thought the objective was to win and put up stats.
Oh.
Your guy putting up stats.
So, Shannon Sharpe is trying to sell me a runaway MVP. I think that's the case you're making.
No, let's no runaway.
Whose offense is only 13th in the NFL on points scored. Only 13th? Well, given all the firepower on that offense, I would say that's underachieving. So, wait, the quarterback MVP of this offense is 13th in points scored so far?
Yeah.
13th it's like middle of the pack.
Think about that.
Is that the MVP?
How do you get to be 13th in scoring and you have the number 1 seed in the NFC?
That's
How is that possible?
Maybe you play a softer schedule.
Oh, no. You play the same schedule. No, actually, they played a tougher schedule because they won the division. Your schedule was actually softer than theirs.
Okay. By the way, Brady's offense is 2nd in points scored to 13th for Aaron.
Yeah. And
okay.
I'm just...
So let me keep going here.
Okay.
So you're trying to sell me an MVP, I think a runaway MVP, according to Shannon Sharpe. And I look at my Bible, Pro Football Focus, your favorite website, and they grade out Tom Brady as the 2nd best quarterback in the league, and Aaron is actually a distant 4th in the league to Tom Brady at 2nd, and Joe Burrow is now elevated all the way to number 1, and he should be. I get that. So Burrow number 1, Brady number 2, and then all the way down at 4, and it's 4. Brady is just 0.7 behind Joe Burrow, but you have to go 4 total points down from Brady to Aaron Rodgers at 4th.
How about
so
the QBR?
in overall grades, well, let's do QBR, shall we?
We shall.
Okay, Aaron is still leading with a 68. Brady's at 67, so it's nip-tuck. It's right on his heels.
Ain't no nip-tuck.
And you know what? Before this is over, Brady's going to catch and pass him. Just watch. Just wait.
How?
At Jets, Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you think what he's going to throw? He's going to throw for 500 against the Jets?
I wouldn't put it past him.
You wouldn't put it past. You say he's going to throw for 300, 450 against Carolina.
I didn't say that because I told you Carolina's defense is legit.
They're not.
Well, they're 2nd in yards allowed going into the game. I thought he played pretty well against them. So now let's look at degree of difficulty, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Who has the better weapons? Well, look at Devontae. I mean, you got...
That's one weapon. That's one weapon.
Really?
You got the GOAT. Hold on. All you talk about is GOAT tight end. You got AB, Hall of Famer.
Whoa. The GOAT tight end is in Brady's doghouse. He threw him 11 balls against New Orleans. He caught 2 for 29. He threw him a touchdown pass and hit him right in the hands the other day and ran to the sidelines, did the GOAT quarterback, and said, what's he doing?
But hold on.
Doghouse.
Let me ask you a question. Was he in the GOAT's doghouse against the Cowboys? Was he in the GOAT's doghouse against Atlanta? When you said, that's why he got him. You see what you do, Skip? Now all of a sudden.
I don't do anything.
Yeah, you did it.
I just spit facts. And the fact is, Pro Football Focus ranks Devontae far and away the best receiver because he is.
Okay.
The first of Brady's targets goes all the way down to 48th. It's Mike Evans is ranked 48th on this list of grades. It's how they're graded so far. Their body of work grade, Mike Evans 48.
How did Pro Football Focus grade the receiving groups coming into the season?
Well, I only care about how they grade them right here, right now.
Okay?
Hold on. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Because Green Bay's receiving core, the totality of it, is graded 4th overall in the league. Tom's receiving core is graded 16th in the league.
That might be because of your quarterback. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe Aaron Rodgers' core, if you take Aaron Rodgers off that team, do you believe they would be 4th graded overall?
He's very good.
Hold on. Did we see Jordan Love? Did we see Jordan Love in Kansas City?
Yep.
Did he look very good to you? Did you see what Devontae Adams looked like without Aaron Rodgers?
Who has the most help? It's Aaron by far. Let's move to rushing attack. Every quarterback's best friend is the running game, they all say. It's the oldest cliche in football. Aaron Rodgers, according to Pro Football Focus, his rushing attack in totality is graded 3rd best in the league. That's pretty great. Tom's is 9th. Not bad, but not 3rd.
Whoa.
Right?
But hold on. But then hold on. Now you use that against him. Because Aaron Rodgers has a running attack, he doesn't have to throw the ball and try to get cheap stats like your guy try to win the MVP. So now you want to use that against him.
Degree of difficulty. So look at individual grades of running backs. A.J. Dillon is graded number 3 in the league, and my little man, Aaron Jones, he's graded 8th overall.
What about Lombardi Lenny?
You got two.
What about Lombardi Lenny?
Top 10s.
Lombardi Lenny.
He's 19th, graded 19th.
Oh, so now you know what Lombardi Lenny.
I don't even know if he's going to be back this year.
I mean, all you talking about when they were winning and Tom was putting up these stats, all you was talking about Lombardi Lenny. Oh, he get Mike Evans and A.B. and Chris Godwin and Cameron Brate and go tight end. You just name it. Now that guy has tracked him down, ran him down, which I told you was going to happen. I didn't second, like you'd like to tell me. I didn't second guess this. I first guessed this. I say, do not count that man out.
Okay.
And here, lo and behold, he went to the game 2 weeks ago. Your guy was in the front. He walked him down, and now he's walking away from it.
Let's go to common opponent, worst game of the year for each of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Brady's game against New Orleans wasn't quite as bad as Aaron's game against New Orleans.
All we do is loss.
We got to compare, right?
Okay, you didn't score any points. Okay. My guy got 3 points.
Okay, but your guy threw 2 picks against New Orleans, and my guy threw only 1 pick against New Orleans. And my guy had a QBR of 18, which is pretty horrible, but your guy had a QBR of 14. So actually, my guy's worst game was a little better than your guy's worst game against a common opponent. Way to go. Thank you.
But your guys had worse games. How'd he look against Taylor Heineke? How'd he look against that, Skip? You lost twice to the Saints. We just saw the Saints last night. And Tua moved the ball. Tua did something. You talk about dinking and dunking. He's the dinkingest, dunkingest guy we've ever seen. He did something your guy couldn't do. Got the ball in the end zone.
Against a COVID-racked defense that didn't have Demario Davis or Quan Alexander or Malcolm Jenkins, or should I go on? Come on, stop it.
All I know is Aaron Rodgers is in the front. Your guy's in the back now. My guy's in the catbird seat.
Yeah, I just deflated and poked all kinds of holes in your argument.
No, hold on. No.
This guy's having a really overrated MVP year, I got to tell you.
No, see, what you do is that you try to change the argument. At first, QBR was the measuring stick. Everything was QBR. Your guy doesn't have that.
It ain't over.
Okay, completion percentage.
I'm percentage points behind you in QBR right now.
Yeah.
And I've had some bad games lately, but it's body of work, right?
I'm percentage points behind Elon Musk in value.
Okay.
But
you are not.
I'm percentage points.
No,
it might be 99.99, but I'm percentage point.
Okay, so finally, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe's favorite reason for winning MVP. It's called narratives.
Yes.
Shannon Sharpe, right? And you're correct about this. I give you this.
Yes.
So each of these quarterbacks is dealing with a negative narrative.
Yes.
What is Brady's negative narrative? He lost it against New Orleans. He had a horrible game. It was disaster of a debacle, and he went full-on tantrum.
Yes.
He runs over to Dennis Allen, the acting head coach, who is the defensive coordinator, and yells, "Go F yourself," like a little child just acting out on the field. And then he goes back over on the bench and just flings and breaks the tablet, right?
But you like that.
Kid. No, I'm just saying that's who he is and has always been.
Okay.
That drives, that fuels his goatness. That's just me.
Okay.
But Shannon Sharpe came in the next day and actually gave him a little bit of a break and a pass because he said he lost his temper against Dennis Allen because of the shot that I believe it was P.J. Williams put on Chris Godwin, went low. And ruptured his ACL and knocked him out for the rest of the year.
Right.
And you know and I know that's a lifetime injury, as Brady said the other day, right? So Brady was defending his receiver, according to Shannon Sharpe. So maybe that lessens the negativity of this anti-Brady narrative.
But Skip, I don't think there's an anti-negative narrative about Brady in the media. I just think the thing is, I think no matter what you think of Tom Brady, what Aaron Rodgers did, I think he's viewed in a more negative light than Tom Brady.
And what did he say? I am immunized. He flat out lied.
Yeah, he lied.
Okay.
But, Skip, you can't argue this. You mentioned, okay, they're this in points, they're this and this in total offense. But somehow, given the middle of the pack numbers, he has this team as the number one seed.
Okay, but you didn't deal with narrative. You just dismissed it because you're afraid of it.
No, Skip.
Okay, so you're saying Aaron has by far the worst narrative because you were scathing, as scathing as you've ever been against any athlete on this show, you versus Aaron over immunized.
Yes, Skip.
Okay.
But as a former voter, I got to set my personal feelings aside and judge the man on what he does on the field.
Okay, but will all the voters set their personal feelings aside when it comes to vaccination?
Just like when all the voters set their feelings aside when Tom Brady did what he did, became a petulant child.
He did.
And the things that they criticized Cam Newton and others got. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Lamar Jackson did the very same thing. Would they be okay with that? Absolutely not. So this notion,
nobody's okay with this.
No, they were okay with Tom.
Oh,
no, that's the competitor. He's a competitor.
No,
nobody likes to lose more than Tom Brady.
No, that was a bad look, and he took heat for it. Serious,
but
legit
here's the thing,
heat.
Skip. You know, going into the season, the better narrative is Tom Brady, 44, winning number 4. That's the great story. It's about stories. Sports, you are journalists, you know it's not just about anybody can write, oh, this team won 29-26. That's not good enough. Tell me a story. That's what the Joe Bucks, that's what the Summeralls, that's what the Nances can do. They can weave the story within the game. The greatest story is Tom Brady at 44 years of age becoming the oldest MVP in pro sports history. That would be a great story. But unfortunately for you, it's not going to happen because on the way, this guy put some fly in your ointment. That's what he did. He said, I refuse. And guess what? He got something for you again if you come to Lambeau in the playoffs.
I'm here to suggest that the Hall of Famer across from me cannot put his personal feelings aside when it comes for Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. because of me.
Skip.
Because I support him, I defend him, I love him. He is the runaway GOAT to me, and you can't stand it. So now you are leaping aboard this bandwagon prematurely.
Skip.
And you're trying to make a runaway case for Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not seeing it.
Skip, I voted for the man twice for MVP. What you mean I can't sit aside?
Voted for Aaron?
No, for Tom. And I voted for Aaron. Yes. Skip, like I said, you've got to be able to do that and judge about.
Are you not sick and tired of Tom Brady?
No, Skip, I'm a firm believer. If you want him to go away, beat him and make him go away.
Okay.
The man shouldn't have to just walk into the sunset because people are tired of seeing him win.
They just won their division for the first time since 2007, thanks in large part to number 12.
Aaron Rodgers won his division again. I gave him the last time he lost the division. Can't
because
you?
It's a cakewalk every single year.
Hold on. So are you saying? So let me ask you a question. Really? With Atlanta in Carolina?
Cooper Rush beat the Vikings at the Vikings. Cooper Rush. I didn't even have Dak Prescott. Cooper beat him.
Okay.
And Kirk Cousins was 1 for 13 on third down.
But you know
that's your division.
But you know how
Lions, Bears, help me out.
Okay, Matt Ryan. Really?
Well, he was MVP
Sam Darnold and
not
Cam.
too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. All I'm saying is this.
New Orleans is not legit. They own Tom Brady.
That ain't saying much. That ain't saying much.
Well, he's just the GOAT.
Skip, That's a different argument than who should be the MVP this year. If you want, like you just told me, this is not a lifetime achievement award. We're not taking into account 7 Super Bowls.
Nope.
We're not talking about all-time leading touchdown passes and yards. That's not what we're doing. We're talking about the 2021 season.
Right here, right now.
And number 12 on the green and gold has outplayed the guy in the pewter and whatever other color that is.
Yep.
That's a fact, Skip.
Maybe it's white.
Okay, pewter and white. Okay, whatever the colors are. I like the old cream symbol myself.
Okay. So all I know is that right here, right now, Tom Brady still leads this league in yards passing, leads in yards passing per game, leads in touchdown passes. That's pretty great. Yeah. That has to at least be right in the conversation, right?
Skip, I didn't say it wasn't. But if you look at where they started 2 weeks ago as Tom is the favorite, and you look at where they are now, Vegas has seemed to be siding with me because he's plus 650 when he was minus going into 2 weeks ago until Aaron did what he did. And I told you that was.
A lot of those odds makers saw those tantrums and knew that the voters were going to be out.
No, ain't no tantrum. That tantrum, that joker, he been throwing. He been throwing tantrums on the field. 33, he been throwing touchdown. 6 games with 3 touchdowns and 0 picks. Can I interest you in that?
Biggest diva I've ever watched.
All that, Skip, all that. He a diva personified. But guess what? Mariah Carey's a diva. She bad, ain't she? Beyonce, bad, ain't she? Aretha, bad.
Beyonce's a diva.
All of them.
I don't.
I like them all, though.
I'm sorry.
I'm
defending Beyonce against your charge.
Well, I don't care. All of them.
Yep.
But guess what? That guy, Skip, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. Like Holmes say, why would you want to?
That guy's 1-4 in NFC Championship.
MVP is not about no. Don't throw that out. I don't need you to throw that out. You just told me this is not a lifetime achievement award. This is about the 2021 season. So 2020 doesn't have any impact on it in the playoffs.
You just said objection, Your Honor, right? So the jury couldn't hear that 1-4 in championship games.
Skip. What does that have to do with this season?
Nothing.
Exactly. That's my point.
You want to plant that seed.
You want to plant one seed.
Replant.
33-4. Can I interest you in that, Skip?
7 Super Bowls. Wow.
Oh, he did that. What that got to do with this season, though?
Just replanting that seed.
All right, it's going to be fun to watch the battle of greatness between these two the last few weeks.
No mercy.
Sunday, the race for the playoffs continued on Fox with a huge doubleheader. It's a full slate of games with playoff implications, highlighted by the Cardinals taking on the Cowboys in America's Game of the Week. Check the local listings for matchups in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. In a recent interview, Karl Anthony Towns was asked about Russell Westbrook and replied, quote, "He chases stats. But I think he's a hell of a player, though. I don't care what anyone says. You know how hard it is to get a triple-double? I just think that sometimes he plays too quick. He tries to do too much." Now, when this quote went viral on Twitter, Draymond Green got involved and insinuated Cat was a hypocrite, posting, quote, "I once watched from the bench due to us beating the T-Wolves, and he was in the game down 20 with 2 minutes to go." Shannon, do you have a problem with what Karl Anthony or Draymond said?
No. Absolutely not. I don't have a problem with what Cat said. Because if you just watch the game, you can see everything that Cat said. He backed it up with facts. You see he plays too fast. He plays out of control. He chases stats. I don't have a problem with Draymond saying defending. I love Draymond because Draymond is the guy that I would want to play with. If Draymond played football, I want him on my team because I know no matter what, he's going to have my back. He's going to go to back. Draymond is the type of guy, Skip, when he says, okay, we're a brotherhood, he's going to do everything he possibly can to defend that brotherhood publicly. He might have different feelings privately, but publicly, he's going to stand united. I don't have a problem with Karl Anthony Towns. That's that man's opinion. He believes that from what I've seen, I've played against Russ enough. Plays out of control. Plays too fast. I don't see the problem. The man had an opinion. He voiced it. I mean, people can disagree with him, but if you watch the games, tell me what you see when you watch Russ. And he made the triple-double his calling card, Skip. So guess what? If I'm not winning championships, if I can do something else to get your mind off of me not winning championships, you're like, well, man, look at these stats, though. I did get a triple-double, but, bro, you got bounced in the first round. Yeah, but what about that triple-double? So I don't have a problem with what either guy said. I believe both guys are right. I believe Draymond has a right to defend Russ and say, well, Cat, what you talking? Bro, y'all were down 20, 2 minutes in the game, 2 minutes left in the ball game. You still out there trying to get some numbers. So I ain't got no problem with that. I don't have a problem with what Cat said either because I believe Cat is absolutely 1,000% right. I just like the Draymond defended Russ.
Okay, somebody has to be out of bounds here.
No, ain't nobody out of bounds. No, Skip. No. You don't think Draymond has a right to... what Cat said is... I believe what Cat said is absolutely true.
Agreed.
We just been talking about it since Russ has got... Well, first of all, you and I have been talking about it since Russ... We've been started covering Russ in 2016. So we've been talking about this. It's not like Cat broke news.
No.
I just think...
He stated the glaringly obvious.
Yes.
It's just glaring. It's like...
Skip, you know how Russ is. You know how Draymond is. Draymond looks at himself as an overseer. He's like, bruh, we got to stand united because he looks at it like the media is always going to try to pull us apart. And he said, we got to stay together, at least publicly. Mm-hmm. That's how Draymond thinks. Draymond thinks that everything, look, we can keep everything in-house. I can feel how I feel about somebody, but I'm not going to let the public know. I'm not going to let the media know because then they're going to use that to try to pull us apart.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying, Skip. I mean, I don't think you think Draymond's out of bounds?
Yep, I do. Because he is classically what they call killing the messenger. The messenger is correct. Everything he said. And in fact, he framed it beautifully, like fairly, where he said, he's a hell of a player. Yes. He says, I don't care what anyone says. You know how hard it is to get a triple-double?
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Right.
He says he plays hella hard.
Right.
No quibble here, right? You got it. I just think that sometimes he plays too quick and he tries to do too much. That's pretty fair to me. And yet, Draymond just condemns him and says, I've seen you in the game down 20 with 2 minutes left. And then he says, stop talking to people about bros and yelling, this is a brotherhood, shake my head, right? Well, it's still a brotherhood. You're allowed to comment on other great players.
But Skip, Draymond actually confirmed it. He said, bro, I saw you in the game getting stats. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he said, well, Cat, that's a lie. Russ ain't doing that. He said, well, I saw you doing the exact same thing. So,
Although I don't think he was trying to get triple doubles, like Karl Anthony Towns, right?
Cat was probably just trying to get numbers.
And by the way, he's playing pretty well this year.
Oh, he's playing unbelievable.
And they're playing really well for the T-Wolves. They're 16-17, so they're a half game up on the Lakers.
Well, we saw what they did to the Lakers, a week ago. Mm-hmm. We saw what Karl Anthony Towns did. He's playing at an all-star level again. Skip, he had that tragic situation with his mom. He had that tough bout with COVID.
He did.
So he's gone through a lot over the last year and a half. And to see him round back into being the Cat that we know, Skip, he's as skilled as we got in that position. 7 foot tall, can shoot the three, put the ball on the floor, can power you post up, shoot free throws. Skip, he's sound, big man.
He's making 43% of his three-point shots. He's making 85% of his free throws.
At 7 feet tall.
Boy, that's really good. 25-9-4, and to have that team hovering up around 500, they look legit to me.
And they played the last couple of games with our aunt because he's in COVID protocol. Skip, look, when someone states the obvious, that's that man's opinion. He says, I just believe that Russ chases stats. I believe he plays out of control. I believe he plays too fast at times. That's that man's opinion. But Skip, you know how Draymond is. After covering Draymond gonna say what he feels. He feels that he's the overseer. Draymond feels he's the big brother of the NBA.
Okay, but once upon a time, during an NBA Finals, I could almost hear, everybody heard it the first 3 rows.
Right.
He screamed at LeBron and called him the B word.
Right.
And he goes up the floor and they get tangled up and he kicks LeBron in the groin and it got him suspended. We're about to talk about the impact of this. He got suspended for Game 5 of the 2016 Finals.
Right.
I'm still shocked by that he got suspended because he had a body of work of kicking people in the midsection, right?
Right.
And then what was the sort of the turning point for Kevin Durant in Golden State was he's sitting on the bench at Clippers next to Draymond. Draymond got mad at him and called him the B word.
Right.
Okay, well, is that brotherhood? Is that protecting?
No, but here's the thing, Skip, is that, no, that wasn't at the time, but I think Draymond has learned, like, man, you know what? What I said was out of bounds. He and LeBron, they're in the same company now. They have business ventures together.
No, and he and Kevin are like besties now.
Right. But let me ask you a question, Skip. This all started when Kevin Durant left and went to Golden State. what was Russ? If Russ doesn't get the triple-double, are we talking about Russ like we talk about Russ today?
No.
If he just averages 25, 8, and 8, are we talking about Russ like? So he had to have a calling card. Skip, I got to make you forget that Kevin Durant was here. I'm going to go get the MVP by averaging a triple-double after KD left.
He did that.
And he's been on the front and center since then.
Did.
That's his calling card. Skip, I got to have a calling card.
I agree.
So that's what he did.
Yep.
And he found out what I can seduce people where they look at is the triple-double and they don't see my flaws within that triple-double.
They do. I didn't.
I
looked the other way.
You don't see that three-point shooting percentage. Even though he shot, 34%. That was his career high in that first triple-double season.
Yep.
Free throw percentage has gone down. Three-point percentage has gone down. Turnovers has been up and stayed there. But we overlooked all of that because of that. Points, rebounds, assists. We ain't going to look at plus minus.
Yep.
We're not going to look at turnover, Skip. We're not going to look at free throw shooting. We're not going to look at three-point. Forget all that because we hadn't seen what they since 61-62. That was the season that Oscar averaged a triple-double. And when they talk about records, what record is never going to be, well, you'll never see anybody average a triple-double again. You're never going to see anybody average a triple-double again. Well, I say I ain't going to do it once. I'm going to do it twice. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it a third time. Just so y'all know I'm for real, I'm going to do it a fourth time.
He did.
So he got us seduced with that. But now that you're in the situation, Skip, and we get an opportunity because you're on a championship contending team, that's not good enough.
Yep.
So what, Russ? You got a triple-double. You turned the ball over 10 times. So what? You shooting 30% from the three. You shooting 65% from the free throw line.
Yep.
He can no longer seduce us and make us think that even the triple-double is good enough.
Yep. What would have been the ultimate revenge over Kevin Durant? It'd be to go win a championship in Oklahoma City and hope that Sam Presti could surround you with championship pieces.
Right. He did the next best thing, Skip. I won an MVP. So I just go to show you, I was MVP level talent. Maybe I suppressed who I am for him.
Yep. But deep down, I think Russ knows in the win column, he cannot compete with that 7-foot monster.
No.
He just can't.
He was never that guy, Skip.
Never that guy.
They're not five. They're not. Maybe when it's all said and done, they might not be five guys that's ever been better than Kevin Durant when it's all said and done.
Agreed.
But nobody thought Russ was a comparable player to KD.
I think the reason Draymond's blast at Karl rubbed me the wrong way is this is part and parcel of why Russ is enabled to continue to be Russ.
Yes.
Because everybody defends him within the brotherhood.
Right.
So basically, Draymond's saying, leave that man alone. He's just fine. Well, he's not just fine because everybody says leave him alone. Even LeBron said after the Saturday night game, leave him alone.
Yeah.
He plays hard, and I got no problem with anybody who plays hard.
You think Draymond would want to play with Russ?
Who would? Show me somebody. We've seen a parade of no's to Russ. Yeah. Paul George said no to Russ when he had the opening. Kawhi said no to Russ. James said no to Russ. Obviously, Kevin said no to Russ. Where else can you go? It's been a history of this,
right?
And it's kind of a sorry history, right? But publicly, they all support him because he's an all-star, perennial all-star.
But that's what happened, Skip. And I think I'm looking at it strictly from Draymond's perspective. I'm going to support you. I don't want you nowhere near my team.
That is a fact. I agree.
Hey, bro. Yeah, man. That joke, he played hard, man.
Leave that man alone and leave him over there.
But, hey, Bob Myers, hey, Draymond, we got a chance to get Russ. To do what? Not on this team.
Lord have mercy. You know what? That team would be an even worse fit than these Lakers would be.
Steph Curry's like, I'm up out of here. Steph's like, I'm good.
Oh. Would he not drag that team?
Hold on. Who was picking teams? Was it Russ? Somebody was picking teams for the All-Star game, and they made a trade. LeBron traded somebody. Did he trade Ben Simmons for Russ?
Well, you mean Giannis against LeBron?
Yeah, they were picking teams that.
I don't remember the Russ one.
I think they traded. That was the first trade. If I'm not mistaken, that was the first trade. I'm gonna have to look at that.
Well, who got rid of Russ? I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I think LeBron might have traded him.
Well, that should have foreshadowed. Now he's untradeable.
No, so hold on. You just said somebody would take. You just told me 2-3 days ago somebody would take it.
When Chris Broussard brought up the Pistons, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's a long shot, but it's a possible shot.
I thought they were trying to cut payroll and get younger.
Don't they want a marquee, like somebody to put up for box office?
To do what?
Draw? People watch. I'll watch Russ every night. I'm fascinated.
I'm not.
By him. Okay.
I'm not. No, I'm not that seduced by the triple double. No, I'm not. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to Skip. I don't really be watching teams that got no chance of winning. I'm watching the Nets. I'm watching the Bucks. I'm watching teams with a chance to win.
When he was in Washington last year, I couldn't turn it off.
I could.
Okay.
No mercy.
Injuries and turnovers have Baker Mayfield's season that started with Super Bowl buzz. With 2 games remaining, Cleveland has a shot at winning the AFC North, but now there's also rumors that the franchise could be in the market for a QB upgrade this offseason. Shannon, what should the Browns do with Baker?
I will have him play out that 5th-year option on his rookie contract, Skip. He's had a disappointing season, and there's no way I'm giving him $200+ million based on what I've seen. I have not seen a large enough sample size of good to warrant or justify me giving him in excess of $200 million. He's going to want a Dak Prescott, probably more than Dak Prescott. He's going to want somewhere around Josh Allen's type money. And I just can't justify that. And we've always making excuses. It's been the coaches, it's been the injuries, it's been receivers. What it is that he's the number 1 overall pick. Number 1 overall pick, automatically, you're franchise altering. Your franchise, your generational talent. If Baker Mayfield was a 3rd-round draft pick, nobody would have a problem with the way he's playing. Is that now that he's the number 1 overall draft pick and he plays the quarterback position, we've got to find reasons or excuses why he hasn't lived up to expectations. Skip, did you know this? When the game's on the line this season, in the last 4 minutes, down 1 possession, he has the 3rd worst passer rating in football. Behind Sam Darnold, you have no respect for Sam Darnold, and Jacob Eason, who's only thrown 3 passes. 4th quarter passer rating this season, he's 31st, only ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Can I interest you in that, Skip? He has the most interceptions since he's entered the league, 54. He has the 2nd most 4th quarter interceptions. That's when the rubber meets the road. That's when Skip Bayless said the Tom Brady's and these great guys are defined in the 4th. He has the 2nd most 4th quarter interception behind Matt Ryan.
Okay.
I can't give him, Skip, that long-term deal based on what I've seen. No way, no how.
By the way, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick, and you treat him like he's the 1st overall pick.
No, that's what you tell me was. You told me he was Brady-esque. So I just got to grade him on what you call him.
Well, he did get $75 million just for this year.
Okay, so what? So why should I judge
Maybe
it?
That's what happened, right? And yet you told me that's just the going rate.
That's the going rate.
Okay.
And remember, Jerry didn't want to pay that either, though, Skip. He franchised him first before he bought. He rented it for a little while.
I'm sorry, but I consider your final takeaway on Baker Mayfield at this point in time, given your scathing criticism of Baker Mayfield, I consider it gutless. That's what gutless, absolutely gutless. Because if you would put your money where your mouth is, you have said, he's not that guy, then cut him. Try to trade him, but cut him. Cut bait.
Why?
Move on.
Why?
That you should say it's time to move forward with somebody new.
No,
right?
What I'm saying is I'm not investing $200+ million and I'll pick up the 5th-year option. I mean, the 5th-year option at $30 million, okay, that's less than the going rate, but I'm not finna get Skip.
Well, then he's not a boss to you. If you're willing to pick up the option and see, he's done enough to show you, let's go $30 million more.
Hold on, Skip.
Right?
Is he worth $240 what Josh Allen got? Is he worth $400 million that Patrick Mahomes got?
You know what I think.
Okay, then.
Absolutely
not. Skip, that man ain't even in Josh Allen's ballpark.
Really? The Josh Allen who's come up smaller, like he's 6'5", he comes up like 5'5".
Did you see him Sunday?
Yeah.
Did you see him Sunday?
First time I've seen him make some plays.
Oh, did you not see him Sunday night against Kansas City? I saw him.
Yep. Well, he's come up small too many times. You see him against Belichick in the win game at Buffalo, a 14-10 game when all he has to do is just make one throw. He was drafted to throw it through the wind. Yeah. Okay.
Skip, all quarterbacks have that game. Your guy got a history. Josh Allen might have a game or two, but your guy got games.
I just wish you would dig in and say, get him out of our side.
But Skip, I've already said that.
Okay.
I already said you're not winning with him in Cleveland.
You should recommend to Cleveland right here, right now. cut bait.
Get
rid of.
Let me ask you a question. If there's an opportunity for them to get, let's just say for the sake of argument, Russell Wilson, or if they can get Aaron Rodgers, or if Deshaun
Rodgers is going to Cleveland.
Hold on, I'm just saying. Hold on. If Deshaun Watson's situation gets resolved, would you rather have Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield?
I'll take Deshaun.
You rather have Russell Wilson or Baker Mayfield?
At this point in time, I'm not so sure about Russell Wilson because he hasn't shown me enough.
As a matter of fact, give me Sierra Wilson over Baker Mayfield playing quarterback.
Lost to Nick Foles at home the other day. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he just quit on them, if his heart's not in it, if one foot's out the door, but he doesn't look like that guy anymore.
When has Baker looked like that guy?
Oh, thank you for asking. I got it right here.
11 games, huh?
As a rookie starting quarterback, he started 13 times for a coach who wasn't all that big a fan of his because the coach during Hard Knocks that
Everybody's
year,
not a fan
Hugh
of his.
Jackson said, "Congratulations, Baker. You're my backup quarterback." Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It still hurts me to even bring it up. But Baker did get his chance over Tyrod did he get hurt? Yeah, Tyrod got hurt. And so he started 13 games. And would you believe your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, graded Baker with 40 what they call big-time throws, 40 big-time throws. That was the third most in the entire NFL that year, and he was a raw rookie, and he was just lighting it up.
Got worse ever since.
27 touchdowns to 14 picks as a rookie starter. Oh, boy,
he keep them touchdowns.
So then we go to 2019, and what happened? Well, Shannon Sharpe started to drive the bandwagon. Shake and bake, baby.
Yeah.
Shake and bake, right? But Odell came to town.
See, there you go.
And Odell didn't want to come to town. And Odell was starting to be a shell of himself, given the magnitude of the hype surrounding him, the expectations. He is an internet sensation, but he could no longer quite live up to it because he'd been too hurt on the football field. He could live up to it in the pregame warm-ups. He's the embodiment of the Harlem Globetrotters. He's Meadowlark Lemon before games because he can make every catch in the book behind his back, between his legs. But he never could live up to that one catch, the greatest catch ever against my Dallas Cowboys on that Sunday night.
Why you keep measuring that man by that one catch?
That did it. That set his bar way up here.
But he went to 3 straight Pro Bowls, so he was more than the catch, Skip.
Okay, and he went to how many playoff games? One. And before that game, he took his receivers on a little trek down to South Beach to Trey Songz's yacht. That's how they prep for a game on the frozen tundra, a playoff game.
But you keep telling me how I'm built by Tom Brady. You won't let the man made a mistake. He went down to South Beach. He shouldn't have gone. Okay.
So he did that, and he goes up to Lambeau, and on the first third down of the game, he dropped it. And then later in the first half, he dropped a touchdown pass in the back of the end zone. And he's 0-1 in the playoffs, and that's what he has to show for it.
Yeah.
So he comes to Cleveland, and he doesn't want to be in Cleveland, but Baker idolized him.
What receiver want to go play with Baker Mayfield?
Huh?
What receiver want to go play with Baker Mayfield?
Well, I don't know.
That ain't Aaron Rodgers. That's not Tom Brady.
He didn't want to be in Cleveland, Ohio. You guys got restaurants out there? He has somebody? Any good restaurants out there? He has somebody
I bet if Deshaun was out there, I bet if Russell Wilson was out there, he'd been with.
Okay, we'll see if they go.
He'd have probably drove himself. He wouldn't have flew.
Okay, so here we go into 2019, and Baker goes completely Odell-centric and starts trying to force the ball. In 2018, the rookie year, it's spread all over the map. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie. And against Baltimore as a rookie, boy, he just lit up those Ravens when they were flying high.
Oh, he had that one game.
Yeah,
he had that one game.
Had several one games against Baltimore. So
he rocked well, one-hit wonder.
Yeah, then it starts to unravel in 2019, and all of a sudden Shannon Sharpe says, whoops, I made a mistake. I'm off this bandwagon because it's all Odell all the time.
No, it was all Baker. You see what you done, Skip? Somehow it's always, now he was spreading the ball around. You talk about those 11 games last year in which he played. He was throwing to Peoples-Jones. He was throwing to Jarvis Landry. He was throwing to Njoku and Hooper and Bryant. Those very guys now that you say are garbage.
Why was he? And thank you for bringing up 2020, because in game number 7 at Cincinnati, unfortunately, I'm knocking on wood for Odell, he went down and out for the rest of the year. Was it a coincidence that Baker Mayfield took off? It was no coincidence. And did he ever take off? Pro Football Focus graded him over the next 11 games the 4th best quarterback in the league.
Well, they ain't grading him like that. They ain't grading him over the 4 years.
Actually, I misread that. It was 3rd best over that 11 games. He went 20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. They won 8 and lost 3, and they went to Pittsburgh against a Pittsburgh defense that was stout at that point, and he had a QBR of 91 and threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they won 48-37.
So, hold on, Skip.
Wow,
so
that's the guy you say is garbage.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. Get him out of my sight.
So let me get this right.
Sharpe.
So you said over his last 11 games of last year, he had 20 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
No,
is that correct?
Odell.
Okay, so
right?
I'm just troubled. Well, help me understand this. Where them other 51 interceptions come from since he's been in the league then? He only had 3 in 11 games. Where them other 51 come from?
I don't know, because here we go into this year, and guess who's back? Odell, but he's still a shell of himself because he's
gone.
He's had, 3 surgeries in 4 years? But no, he wasn't gone this year. He starts off, he plays the first 6 games, and Baker's still trying to force the ball to 13. Force it. And it's a disaster.
I thought he was hurt.
In game 2, he got hurt.
So was it the forcing the Odell or was it the injury?
Both.
And what about the head coach?
He tore his labrum in the second game of the year, and he sucked it up and toughed it out, and it also fractured his shoulder. So he's playing with a shoulder harness on his left shoulder, and he's up against it. Then he hurt his knee, then he hurt his foot, and he's had one thing after another. But has he missed any time? Nope, he just keeps on keeping on. But
you know that,
give him no credit for that.
And the whole while, all I've heard was it was the coaches, it's the injuries, it's the receivers. Not one time have you mentioned something that Baker's done wrong in this 4 years. It's always someone else. At what point in time?
What do I say about Progressive and Heisman House commercials? What do I say? Wrong. Painting picture on target on your back bigger than anybody's target in this league. Baker Mayfield has become the lowest hanging fruit for the media.
No, that's Odell.
Yeah.
That's OBJ.
No.
That's the low hanging fruit.
Stop it. He is the most overprotected superstar in sports. You and LeBron try to protect. Did you see that touchdown against the backup corner from 2 yards
Everybody
out?
else got backup corners. Everybody going through something.
Yeah.
But you see what you did? Even when Odell first got to San Francisco, even the Monday night, they told me the Monday night crew jumped on him when Matthew Stafford forced the ball to him. They jumped on him. We got color guys on Odell. The reason what happened to Matthew Stafford because he's forcing Odell. When they never said a thing about him forcing the ball to Megatron, they wasn't saying anything about when Matthew Stafford was turning the ball over forcing the Megatron, but it's low-hanging fruit.
Is it coincidence that Matt Stafford's starting to unravel? Is it because I got to throw it to 13? Where's 13? Where's 13?
No, actually number 3. But anyway,
3.
Let me ask you a question, Skip.
Oh, yeah, he's 3.
Which one of those interceptions on Sunday was because he was throwing the ball to Odell?
Well, 3 of them were not his fault, obviously, because I demonstrated to you yesterday that 2 of them were outrageous, uncalled pass interference.
No. I'm talking about Matthew Stafford.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
That was his fault.
Yeah.
That was his fault.
No, those weren't.
Yeah, that's his fault.
Well, I showed you their pass interference.
There ain't no pass interference.
Oh, stop it.
No.
Yeah, you agreed.
No,
yesterday.
I didn't agree.
Are you kidding me? On the 2, wait, I'm sorry, we got to stop then. We're going to have to show the 2 plays. Tell me.
We ain't got to show nothing.
Okay, well, you're the Hall of Famer. I want to show them.
No.
If you say
I'm not a referee.
Huh? Well,
I'm not a referee.
Well, we got to show them. We got to show the first one for sure, and then the last one.
You make it seem like I'm the
last one. Can we see them? Please, here's the first one. Okay, Donovan Peoples-Jones is trying to get upfield, and he's impeded outrageously. Yeah.
That's a pick.
Yeah, well, look what happens. Watch this. Contact, illegal contact, hold, illegal contact.
Well, you should have thrown it to the crossing route. That was the scissors.
Okay.
You should have thrown it to the 7 route underneath
Throw the flag, please. And here's the last one.
Woo! That was a nice one, Douglas.
Yeah, way to go, Russell Douglas. Grabs him, holds him, and tugs on his jersey to catapult him into position to make the interception. And nobody threw a flag.
What a flag.
Come on, stop it. You see it and you know it. And then on the 3rd interception, Jarvis just flat out falls down.
He just flat out threw a pick.
Yeah, he threw one interception.
He threw 4.
Everybody said he threw 4 interceptions.
He did.
He threw 1.
He did.
1.
I mean, think about that, Skip.
Cut him loose. I dare you.
Your guy.
I need you to have the guts to say, cut him loose. I want to see Baker Mayfield go elsewhere because you will be in trouble if he gets to change scenery.
Let this sink in, Skip.
Yep.
Your guy threw 4 interceptions in one game. Aaron Rodgers got 4 interceptions on the season.
Yeah, my guy threw 1 interception.
No, he got 4.
Yeah, and was in position. If you get that call, they're going to win that game.
Skip, you keep saying
at
that.
Lambeau, they're going to win it.
I remember.
They got 1st and 10 at the 40 with 50 seconds left.
You guys had an opportunity to win the game against Kansas City, opening day. You had a chance to win the game against the Chargers out here. You had a chance to win the game Sunday.
Yeah, you're talking about the one where Odell dropped the big pass on 4th down against the Chargers late in that game? Thank you.
You got a chance.
Thank you for bringing
All
that
right,
up.
guys, we got to move on.
No mercy.
Trevon Diggs got his league-leading 11th interception on Sunday, and his play is a big reason why the Cowboys defense has led Dallas to its 11-4 record. Diggs' contributions haven't gone unnoticed, with former Cowboy and current Jackson State coach Deion Sanders tweeting, Trevon Diggs should be the MVP, or at least in the conversation. Defensive Player of the Year is already in his crib. This man is doing what hadn't been done in a long time. Shannon, is this crazy, or does he have a point?
Man, y'all know I love time. Time out of his mind. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call him today and tell him he out of his mind, too. First of all, he's not even the best player on the defense. How the hell somebody going to win Defensive Player of the Year and you're not the best player on the defense? That's Michael Parsons. Skip, yeah, he has 11 interceptions, but I don't know if people know this. Trevon Diggs has given up the most passing yards this season by more than 100 over the next closest. Teams aren't afraid to throw it. He has the 3rd most targets thrown his way, 93. Only 2 guys are in front of him, and one of them is his teammate, Anthony Brown.
He has allowed 962 yards.
962 yards, the most in the NFL.
Yep.
How you going to be a Defensive Player of the Year if people are not afraid to go at you? Guys that win that award, they're not challenging. DBs that have won that award. Time. He won that award 94. People weren't challenging him. Charles Woodson won that award. Rod Woodson won that award. When Mel Blount, when you win that award as a defensive back, Skip, you're not going to have no 11 interceptions. They're not throwing the ball your way. I can't give him that award. If anybody's going to get that award from the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to be Michael Parsons, because he can go from snap to sack. Trevon Diggs, he might get a vote, but he ain't even close to being Defensive Player of the Year over Michael Parsons. Now, if he'd have said Michael Parsons, I'd say, you know what? You got a compelling case. Because if you look at the Giants game withstanding, where he didn't get an opportunity to rush that much, he's had sack, impact. TJ Watt has been nicked up and skipped IA. He needs to get on the ball because Michael Parsons is not slowing down. Even Myles Garrett needs to get on the ball. Parsons is not slowing down. So if Time would have said, Michael Parsons needs to be defensive, but I get it. Time going to show love to the corners. I'm going to give him that. He's going to show love to the he's tied to a defensive back as a mythical figure.
He is.
He's the oracle.
It's why that kid from Atlanta decided I'm going to the HBCU.
Yes, Skip, when it comes to DBs, he's it.
Yep.
If you want to know something, they go into Time.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey is the best DB in football. Jalen Ramsey will tackle. Jalen Ramsey travel. Jalen Ramsey is the best DB in football.
He's physical, too.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to have to disagree with my Hall of Fame teammate. Nah, Trevon Diggs ain't it.
Okay, to your final point, it's obviously the greatest corner defending a corner who's had a sensational year just when it comes to intercepting the football. But the great irony here is, and I just shook my head after I read this, that the very reason that Trevon Diggs is not Deion Sanders is nobody's afraid of him because he's a cluer, he's a route jumper, he's a gambler.
Right. Time might have gave up 962 yards in his career. Not in one season.
I can't even imagine in his career. But I was there in 1981 when Everson Walls intercepted 11 balls for the Dallas Cowboys. He was undrafted out of Grambling because he could not run.
No.
He was 4'6"-ish in the 40, and to play cornerback in this
league. And he was a big corner too, Skip. He wasn't small.
6'1", 205 maybe.
Yeah.
Right in that range. And would you believe the first night they played 5 exhibition games, I'm at the old Texas Stadium, and I look at my flip card that they provide up in the press box where you could flip it over and see the rosters.
Right.
And I'm scanning down the rosters, and I see there's a guy listed as Emerson Walls, E.M. Emerson. They don't even know his name. He's on the team. He's barely made the roster. Because remember, they would bring 100 free agents to camp. I don't know how many they brought your year.
Yeah, when they reduced it, you could only bring 80.
Okay, well, this was wide open, wild, wild west.
They have 100. You know? They have 100 guys. When they brought the camp, right. They'd have 110 guys.
So it was an achievement just to get brought to Dallas for the first exhibition game, first preseason game. Yeah. Okay, so he's listed as Emerson. They don't even know his name, and he blocked a punt in that game and caught my eye. Like, interesting. So I called the hotel the next day where all the rookies stayed, and they put me right through to his room, and I said, hey, I want to do a piece with you. Would you talk to me? And he came, sat in the lobby, and we talked. And he's just, you want to talk about charming, and you want to talk about a magic carpet ride season?
Yeah.
What started happening? Everybody said, that guy, we're throwing at that guy.
We're throwing at you, bro.
And he can't run because they all knew he couldn't run. And 11 interceptions happened. And he had some horrendous nightmare games. There was one game against Miami at it was David Woodley at Texas Stadium, where David Woodley threw for probably 200 yards on him that day. But he gets in positions because he had great hands and great ball instincts.
Yes.
So that's how you get those interceptions. Right. Well, Diggs is, to me, much better than Everson ever was. Right. Everson sort of transitioned to safety for the Giants.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl with the Giants.
He won a Super Bowl, and he was good because he could do it with his head more than his body, right? Okay, so the opposite is happening. Here's Trevon Diggs. He's the flip side of Deion Sanders because he can't just lock people up and shut them out, right? He's not that guy. Now, I hope he can be in the playoffs. And you've asked me about, well, can he take so-and-so? Can he take, Right. Well, I believe he'll try, and I think he's getting better because he was really a disaster his rookie year because they were killing him his rookie year.
I think the thing is, Skip, with Devontae, because Devontae has the entire route tree, and they will double move him, he's going to be very hesitant to jump anything.
Yeah.
Because that's what they pride themselves on. Okay, this is what you're going to do? And Aaron Rodgers, they're on the same wavelength. They know exactly what to do.
I don't know if I've ever seen a receiver and a quarterback be on a better wavelength because they'll triple team him, and Aaron just says, I got this.
And you can't be right because the guy lines up inside, he runs the fade. He lines up slightly outside, he crosses his face, and he throws the slant. Okay. So you can't, if you have him single coverage, they're gonna be right all the time. But Diggs is having an unbelievable season, Skip. I don't want people to think that's 40
what is he by trade? He's a wide out.
Yeah.
He was a high school star wide receiver.
He was a 4-star wide receiver.
Went to Alabama as a receiver, right?
And Coach Saban said you'd be better served on the defensive side of the football.
And it was the greatest movie ever made.
Yes.
He will attest to that.
Right.
Last point about Deion Sanders. Remember, he helped San Francisco win a Super Bowl after the 94 season. Then he signs as a free agent with Dallas and literally put them back over the top over San Francisco. Barry Switzer was the head coach. And after Deion's first practice, I walked with Barry toward the locker room, and he said, that Deion Sanders, because that's the first time he had laid eyes on him, and Barry really knew football players. He had a great eye for talent. He said, it's like he's not governed by our gravity. It's like he can do things. He has quickness and speed and leaping ability that nobody else has.
You had to see him. You had, I mean, even YouTube don't do time because some things you got to see for your own eyes to watch how fluid he was. It's almost like he wasn't touching the ground. Okay. It was like he was barely touching the ground, but he could get in and out of breaks. And with that wide base, he was sitting right near. Skip, you think somebody would throw 7-8 passes a game at time? Time would go complete games, and they wouldn't throw the ball in his direction.
Not throwing in his direction. He would take one receiver. Sometimes he'd take the second receiver and just absolutely take him out of the game.
A lot of times they say, okay, time, you take the second receiver, and then we're gonna roll coverage to the other guy.
And he would get no targets.
Skip.
No targets.
Trevon Diggs is not Revis. No. Revis is you can make a case. Revis is the second best corner of all time.
No,
he's not Revis.
No, he's not Revis, but he's having a magical year.
He's having a magical season.
He's got opportunities, right?
Why? Because they don't believe you. They don't believe. They're like, man, we're throwing at him.
Deion's just standing up for everyone.
If he just said Michael Parsons, I was like, you know what, time? You might be right.
Yeah.
Given what the injuries that's happened to Watt and Myles Garrett with the groin injuries, and this kid every game is making impact plays, getting sacks, getting tackled for losses.
Yep.
I'm with you. But I can't go Trevon Diggs, defensive player of the year. With these numbers, Skip, he's like the 50th grade. I get it. He's the 50th grade, and I don't want to get too much in the grades, but you can't give up 1,000 yards receiving and then talk about you defensive player of the year.
I'm just happy he made the Pro Bowl. That's great.
Yeah.
Right?
He'll be all-pro. He and Ramsey will probably be the all-pro corners.
All right, good. I'll take it.
But not defensive player of the year, Skip.
Congratulations to Louise from Oklahoma on winning the Fox Bet Super 6 house giveaway. She'll use the winnings to help pay off the dream house she already built with her late husband. Every week, Fox Bet Super 6 offers free chances to real people like Louise to win life-changing prizes. Download the free-to-play Super 6 app and enter the NFL Sunday Challenge for your chance at $100,000 this Sunday. In a recent interview, former Cavs guard Iman Shumpert was asked if Cleveland could have won the 2016 NBA Finals if Draymond Green wasn't suspended for a game after his low blow on LeBron James. Shumpert replied, quote, "It'd be tough. They're a different ball club when they're with him. It was like coming up to the park and beating up on some kids and their big brother just ain't there right now. That's what it felt like. It felt like we just came up to the park and bust y'all bleep and y'all big homie wasn't here. Now y'all calling dude and he got to come back up to the park for the next game." Shannon, would Golden State have won those finals if Draymond wasn't suspended?
I missed the part where Draymond was suspended for the entire rest of the series. Skip, Shump would have a compelling argument if it was Game 7. Winner take all, Skip. Hey, the big homie out here, as he said, we got y'all. What y'all gonna do? Draymond missed Game 5. LeBron and Kyrie goes off. 41 what do you get? 41 and 16. I think LeBron had 41 and 16 that game. But Draymond was there Game 6 and 7. Draymond has never, ever played a game like he played Game 7, before or after. Skip, he went 32, 15, and 9. He was 6 of 8 from 3. Draymond could not have played better than what he played Game 7. I'm missing something. So you get two, I can see, Skip, the Cavs had to win 3 games, not 1. The Warriors needed to win 1 game. Okay, let's just say now you're up 3-2. You got Game 6. Say, you know what? Okay, y'all at home. LeBron goes off again, gets another 41-point game. He was 41, 8, and 11 this game. But we got Game 7 in our building. Raucous crowd. We got you where we want you because that's what we wanted. We wanted to have a Game 7. If there was ever one, we wanted it in our building, and we got it. Did Shump miss what LeBron did? In the final 3 games, he goes 36, 12, and 9. In the final 2 games, he goes 34, 9, and 11.
Well, he couldn't have missed it. He was on his team.
He missed it.
He wasn't a Warrior. He was a Cavalier.
He must have been blowing. Yeah. He missed that. He missed that. He missed that virtuoso that LeBron put on him.
That's what's beautiful about this. This has come from a Cavalier, not a Warrior.
Skip, you do realize in the fourth quarter, Game 7, LeBron, the Cavs only scored 18 points. The problem was the Warriors only scored 13. Nah, he gonna have to miss me with this one.
Well, he can hit me with it because I've been saying it for years.
Of course he can hit you with it. That's what you want to believe.
I never in my wildest dreams thought that Kiki Vandeweghe would actually suspend such a key player, any player for that matter, but such a key player for Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
That was Game 5, not Game 7.
Game 5? You take their guts and glue guy out? Because what did you tell me earlier in the show? If I had a teammate in football, I'd want Draymond to be my football teammate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, was he not the enforcer on that team? Was he not the biggest brother on that team?
Yeah, you had Game 6, though, Skip. So what'd you do with Game 6?
Okay, but everything changed. The momentum swung wildly back to the Cavaliers. And all of a sudden, they're thinking, God, all we have to do is win 2 more games, and we do something. 2 more, but we do something nobody's ever done, and we get the first win at our place.
Yeah.
That was easy, right? Game 7 should not have been easy, and I give you what he did, 32, 15, and 9. And it kind of went in the shadows because it took me a while to even digest that he did that. Yeah. Because who was their best player by far? Whose case are you making right now to be a top 10 all-time player? Steph Curry.
Yeah.
What did he do in games 5, 6, and 7? Help me out.
LeBron put that hawk on him.
Oh, did he? Was LeBron guarding him? Yeah. I think Steph was guarding Steph because he's not that guy. He is
that guy. Stop saying that.
He routinely come up even smaller than he is in the biggest games, in the biggest moments. See 2019 against Kawhi in that finals and see the last-second shot in Game 6. But this was horrendously bad. These were 5 straight games of disappearing acts by their best player, their most lethal player, the one that they turn to and depend on to shoot you right in the heart. That's what he had done all year long. And all of a sudden, he wasn't there for them. And it got all the way down to the fourth quarter of Game 7 in his place. It's his house.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip. blame Steph for not playing well, but don't say because Draymond missed one game, that cost him the series.
It was really the game. I promise you, if Draymond plays in Game 5 at Oracle, it's at Oracle, they're going to put you guys away.
We do you regardless.
No, I'm sorry. He would have done 32-15.
No, he wasn't going to do that. Draymond has never had another game like that before or since.
They would have gone home and run a parade over you. That's what they would have done.
LeBron and Kyrie weren't going to let that happen. You saw what Unc was doing. Kyrie started dancing, and LeBron said, it ain't no fun if I can't get some. And a woo-woo, he started dancing too, and everybody was dancing.
What happened to LeBron in Game 4? You want to talk about disappearing? He came all apart.
What about Game 5?
Well, there's no Draymond.
Okay, what about Game 6?
And Shump said it. Like, we knew in Game 5, when that man didn't play, we saw how different they were. Whew.
Yeah, you had
Bingo.
Skip.
Boom.
Okay, so what about Game 6 when he was back?
Okay, well, now the momentum has swung, and Game 6 is back in the King's Palace, right?
Okay, so now the momentum is swung, so now we back in your place.
Okay.
Now you got the big homie on the court.
Yeah, but who's your best player? And what happened to your best player?
What player?
Fourth quarter, Steph Curry goes 1 of 6 and 1 of 5 from 3.
Well, tell Shum to talk about what Steph Curry didn't do. LeBron is there.
Okay.
Skip, you remember when David Stern suspended Robert Horry and Stoudemire for a Game 7
Phoenix.
Against Phoenix.
Yep.
He suspended him for a Game 7.
But they ran on the court, which was completely off limits.
No. Because what did Robert Horry do? He hip checked Steve Nash.
Okay.
Come on, Skip.
Yeah, Stoudemire ran onto the floor.
He's like, come on. He's like, what's up with that, bro? He ain't swing on it. Now, if you want to, Skip, like I said, that was one game. If you want to say if it was one game, Skip, if it was the Game 7, and you say, you know what? You're right. That cost him the game. Okay. But y'all had 2 more cracks at us.
Okay, all I know is that Game 7 was what triggered Steph Curry to lead a contingent on the 4th of July all the way out to the tip of Long Island to get down on bended knees and recruit Kevin Durant to please come save us.
He proposed to him.
He did. He proposed.
Him and Draymond proposed to that man.
I'll do anything.
Yeah.
I'll ride shotgun. I'll be the number 2. And he was the number 2, and they won the next 2 finals.
Yes.
Okay, way to go.
We're not going to just gloss over what LeBron old GOAT did in the fourth quarter, are we?
But we got to put an asterisk.
We ain't got to put it. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, there ain't no asterisk. Skip.
No Draymond.
Had anybody ever done that before?
No one had done it.
As a matter of fact,
nobody had ever been suspended for Game 5 of the finals.
We let Jordan have the greatest season ever. That 96 season, they went 72-10.
Yep.
Ain't nobody talking about 73-9 because, as he told Bob Myers and Joe Lacob, y'all ain't win nothing. You got to get the ring to top it off.
Thank you, Shump.
No mercy.
The injury bug just keeps hitting Tom Brady and the Bucs. Yesterday, Bruce Arians told reporters on Monday that pass rusher Shaq Barrett has both a sprained ACL and MCL and is expected to miss the rest of the regular season, although there's hope he could return for the playoffs. So, Shannon, are you ready to say there's no way the Bucs repeat?
Skip, I just don't see it. This is not the same. Skip, even before the rash of injuries, this wasn't the same team. They didn't look like the team that took off the last half of the season and rode that tidal wave into the playoffs. They haven't looked like that team the entire season. Yes, they've had games where they look really, really good, but the consistency that they strung together at the end of the season and into the playoffs, Skip, they never looked like that team. And that's why I tell you, that's why I was surprised that Tom, we're going to be so much better this year than last year. I was like, but Tom, you know how injuries are.
They bit them.
Yeah. Yep. We won the Super Bowl in 97, beat Green Bay, and we were very fortunate. John got injured early in the season, pulled his hamstring, Skip, missed about a month, came back, tweaked it again, missed another week. But for the most part, we was fairly healthy throughout the title run. The second time, went 14-2 and won the Super Bowl. But the next year, like 3 games into the season, John retires, TD blows out his knee. All those things that could have easily happened in that repeat season. Okay. That's why I was like, Tom, y'all doing a lot of talking, bro. It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be as good. Enjoy it. But I was surprised they were talking like that.
I need Shannon Sharpe to go on the record right here, right now. Tom Brady's Buccaneers will not repeat.
I don't believe they repeat. I don't believe they repeat.
Well, you don't believe it, or you're saying they will not?
I don't believe they will repeat, Skip.
Will you say they will not repeat?
Skip, They're not winning. I told you that at the beginning.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
You said it. No. I don't want to hear nothing about no excuses about what guy wasn't there. You say they're winning. You said Tom Brady is enough.
I picked them before the season started. I told you I do not love it that Tom Brady all but just handed Antonio Brown the keys to the city, or at least to the franchise. I don't love it that it's all or nothing based on depending on Antonio Brown now that he's been empowered as he is the savior of the Buccaneers.
Right.
I don't love it that they lost Chris Godwin because that one's over and done, right? That's the only one that's over and out. But I will tell you, if they get reasonably healthy, I looked at this last night. This roster is flat out loaded. The defense is loaded. It's been an are we there yet kind of season. Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet?
That's not what Tom said. Tom said they were going to be better. It wasn't no are we there yet.
All right, but if they get reasonably healthy, they are so loaded. That offensive line is so good.
No. Go. I want you to say right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the Super Bowl.
I don't back off. I'm never flip skip, so I picked them before the year started.
So
I will stick with my pick.
I don't want to hear nothing about no help.
Unlike somebody across from me, I stick with my pick.
I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl.
Well, you picked them to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've already backed off that.
Yeah. I just think the injuries that they have to the key players.
Okay, but nobody's completely lost except Chris Godwin. If JVP and Shaq Barrett come back in there 90%, I'm
you think so? A sprained ACL.
I don't know. Who knows about that? At least it's not ruptured.
How many guys you know played with a sprained MCL?
Okay,
sprained
usually
ACL.
it's like 4 to 6 weeks.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. We'll see. But I'm not backing off. And there's one man in sports I do not bet against.
I'm betting against him.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
No mercy.
Lakers, they are a 5-point favorite against the Rockets tonight, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. And a win would snap their 5-game losing streak. Shannon, will you guarantee that LA ends their skid tonight?
Hell no, I ain't guaranteeing nothing.
Rockets?
I'm just hoping they can win a close ball game against the worst team in the West. No.
Really?
Can you guarantee somebody besides LeBron is going to show up tonight? Can you guarantee me that?
Probably not.
So what you want me to guarantee a win?
Well, I just hope the Rockets show up because they just lost by 24 at Charlotte last night. They have to play back-to-back back at home against the mighty Lakers.
I bet the game will be close with 5 minutes left in the ball game.
I bet it will not be.
I bet you it will be.
Okay, well, you're going to bet it.
I ain't going to bet against them.
Okay.
Skip, you seen the Lakers play the entire season, all 34 games.
I've also seen the Rockets not play. This will be Lakers by 15, and I believe LeBron will have a triple-double tonight.
The Lakers by 3.
By 3?
3.
Against the lowly Rockets?
Yep.
You're kidding.
Hold on. Have you seen the lowly Lakers play? You make it seem Lakers like they got Golden State or Phoenix record.
I just saw the Lakers go 31-8 down the stretch and tie the game against the Brooklyn Nets.
Why would you need to go 31-8 against the Brooklyn Nets without KD and Kyrie?
Lakers, please get a win tonight. That's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't go anywhere because A Herd with Colin and Joy starts right now.